brand new week. Welcome back, good kid. And, you take
Thank
all
you.
of this with a grain of salt because, especially in a game like Saturday where the Bengals weren't playing their starters, and the Bears did for a considerable chunk of the first half, they've gone back-to-back exhibition games here for whatever it's worth without allowing a touchdown. I know Matt Eberflus has to be somewhat pleased with the way his defense has played. But after a clunky start, the offense looked good. The second unit looked terrific with Tyson Bagent again. But after a slow start, Caleb and a lot of the first-teamers look good. And so take from it what you will. I do understand that it deserves some context, Yerk, especially against an opponent not playing its starters. But the Bears are getting good work in, I think, at the very least. And they're getting good work in with their starters.
You don't apologize for anything. You go out there. If the team doesn't want to play their first team, that's up to them.
That's
they
right.
don't want to be prepared for the NFL season. That's the Bengals' problem. I'm not worried about what the Cincinnati Bengals are doing. I'm worried about what the Bears are doing. And that's really all that I care about. So what did they look like? They looked slow coming out of the box.
They did.
They didn't look efficient. 0 for 3 on pass attempts in the first 3. We always say, why aren't you going to run the ball a little bit in the first? What are you doing?
I got some numbers.
Pass left, pass right, pass here.
Yeah.
Either way, it doesn't end up in getting a first down. And then they have 2 more 3 and outs, and that's it. That's supposed to be it. But what do? Not let's call an audible. Not enough.
Yeah.
9 plays. We didn't have it working. Let's get back out there and let's keep working. Let's keep driving. Let's get some productivity out of there. And once you saw the productivity and you saw them able to move the ball, which is what you're looking for, then you get a little bit of a better feeling and a warm feeling in the gut. A little something a little bit better. The defense was supposed to dominate, and they did.
They did.
Yeah, and they did enough. And they got to the quarterback, and they utilized the blitz.
Yes.
And Kyle Gordon coming off the corner. And really any defensive back coming off the corner because they were doing a nice job of it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of pressure. Like 10 blitzes.
And listen, how do you get good at blitzing? By blitzing.
By blitzing.
And when do you get to work on that? You get to work on it in practice in the preseason.
Yeah.
And then you show it to them so people have to prepare for it. And then you can bring something from another direction. So I love it.
Here'd be my question today for Bears fans. Are you trying to temper your enthusiasm here just a little bit, knowing it is the preseason? But Caleb's got everybody buzzing. Look, the rookie quarterback so far, again, all of this is it's August and none of them have played a real game. Bo Nix was pretty terrific again in his small sample of work yesterday in the exhibition season. Jaden Daniels has flashed at times as well. Caleb certainly has in the 7 drives that we've seen him play. So the rookie quarterbacks are generating a fair amount of buzz. This is all we have to go on now, but Caleb is doing the things I think it's got all of us so excited. And the thing I love the most, and I hope this all translates into the regular season and year after year when it matters most, is his ability to extend a play and elude pressure. We knew he possessed, and we know he possesses that ability. He still very much seems to want to keep his eyes downfield, and I love that. Running seems to still be a last option. I will scramble now and buy myself more time, but I'm just moving the pocket and I'm looking downfield. And that's what I like to see. And I hope all that carries over into the regular season when it matters, because I think that's when you get to next level quarterback.
I hope there comes a point in time where the protection is solid enough to where he doesn't have to run around and slide left and right and up and down and all over the place and reverse pivot out and get out to the perimeter to find himself a chance to do something. I'd prefer all the action to happen out of the pocket, but thank God he is mobile enough.
Yeah.
And he does seem to want to square himself and get back into a throwing position, trying to find a way to make a play down the field. So you give him all the credit in the world. But let me tell you, old Nate Davis, 64, not representing the number very well out there. Got beat by a simple spin move by a guy that could barely rush the passer in college.
Spin move.
And he's right there in the quarterback's lap. What is Nate Davis doing? So
he had him in he had Nate Davis spinning like a top on that.
And if you noticed the set on that particular play, Nate Davis short set Chris Jenkins. And then after that was completely dominated. After the short set and the initial surprise, all of a sudden Chris Jenkins is at the quarterback.
Yes.
So, and not really a guy that's known for his pass rushing abilities. So that's the one thing I'm going to ask him. It's a simple question when I talk to him.
Eberflus, you mean?
Yeah. What's the major malfunction of Nate Davis?
Well, maybe some of it is just he hasn't practiced a lot.
But why?
Wow.
So what's the malfunction? What's his problem? Soft tissue. You know the heart's made of soft tissue. You know that, right?
I don't know.
The heart is made of soft tissue,
tissue?
whether you believe it or not.
I'll believe you. You seem
It's
to
like,
know these
what
things.
the hell's going on, you know?
I don't know.
And I mean, we'll ask the question in a professional manner.
I'm sure you
know,
will.
We won't be piercing with the commentary. How'd you and Peggy do in the preseason game, the post game?
It was great. It was big shoes to fill when I got to fill in. For
Well,
Johnny
I know she
Hansen.
brought her saddle shoes and she had her pom poms out. You had yourself one touchdown throw. Oh my heavens!
He didn't even have
the world. Oh, you went down to the 5.
He should have had a touchdown to Rome Dunze. My guy Rome lost.
Didn't realize where he was at.
Got to know where you are on the field.
He didn't realize where he was at.
Now I get it. The end line's a little different right now. It's a temporary end line. It's
right.
Not
it's
as wide.
one line, and it's not a solid white line going all the way back.
Come on, Rome. Got to know where you are on the field.
Yeah, so Rome Dunze needed to know, and that play went down to the 5 or the 7 yard line, wherever it ended up going down to. But at least he was going left and making the throw, and he squared up and made a nice.
Oh, that was the great throw down the sideline to Rome. That was
he made a bad pass down the middle of the field where he had a receiver open. They got the interference penalty anyway.
Yeah, to Tyler Scott.
Tyler Scott. They got the interference penalty anyway. But that was not a well-thrown ball.
Well, keeping with tradition, Danny Zetterman has asked me Jurko's grade for Caleb in the second game, like he gave him the B- in the first game.
B-.
He's staying steady then.
Steady.
Okay,
right. That's good.
Steady
I
display.
thought maybe it would have been downgraded a little bit. Yeah.
B-.
Yeah.
That's solid grade.
The ball to Tyler Scott I think it would have been complete had he not been tugged by the defensive back. You still think it was a slightly...
Was it a good ball or wasn't it a good ball? What did the receiver have to do? Did you see how he is contorting himself?
Yeah.
Trying to get to the football?
Yeah.
Well, good ball, you're not contorting yourself. You're running underneath it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't a perfect ball. But it was a ball that was probably going to be catchable.
Right.
And it didn't matter because it led to a penalty anyway.
Right.
It led to an interference penalty.
Exactly. That was on a play action pass. So anything you want to talk about with us today and how you're viewing these first couple of games for Caleb Williams? And if you're tempering your expectation at all, or if you're just like, you know what, forget it, gung ho, let's go crazy.
And listen,
312-332-3776 for Carmen and Jurko.
The Bears got their reps in. That's what they did. They got the reps in. They got in there. They got into a grind with somebody, that had an opposite colored jersey on, and they went at it. It's unfortunate that Cincinnati decided they don't want to play anybody, and I hope it causes some problems in the season. I do. I hope it causes some problems in the season. For those who do not want to take this stuff seriously, then too bad for you. So I hope it does cause Cincinnati some problems.
There's still a lot of teams out there that have, nary a starter through a couple of weeks of the exhibition season. Now, maybe they'll use, because of the extra time, maybe they'll use this final week as a chance to get their starters some play, but there are a lot of guys out there that haven't done a whole heck of a lot. I wouldn't anticipate the Bears playing in Kansas City. And I know they're not going to tell us, and Matt Eberflus is not going to tell us. They don't want to reveal.
Oh, he might.
I doubt it. But I believe they've changed and amended the practice schedule a little bit for Wednesday, where they're going to do kind of like a split squad thing again. And a lot of people.
Well, I think it's crystal clear. Yeah, if it's split squad again, then I think you've got your starters not playing,
Probably
and this is what you would have anticipated,
right?
From the jump. This is what you would have thought. You would have thought they would have used the first game to get your first team guys some reps, even though it was early in camp. You would have thought they'd have utilized that, especially with a rookie quarterback. They decided not to. He's made it through healthy now. Why would you want to go ahead and play him now?
I think you're right. And that's
fine.
They said 40 to 55 snaps if they could, and I think it's 43 if I'm not mistaken. So I think they're probably happy with the number they're at, and I think it's great that, like you said, they called the audible on Saturday and said, you know what?
Well, they had to.
None of that was good. Let's go again. Let's go again.
They had to because they probably knew he wasn't going to play on Thursday.
Maybe you're right.
So guess what? 9 plays is not enough. We're going to go more.
Yeah.
We're going to go more, and that's the way it is.
So I'm glad
then Bagent comes in, the backup quarterback, most popular player in the city of Chicago.
Well, not right now. We did get one call in the postgame show that wondered when Bagent would start over Caleb. That's a little crazy.
Well,
but
you got to anticipate that. The backup quarterback's always the most popular guy in the world. So
and look, Bagent, the one good, like you can trust him, I think, totally and completely. Break glass in case of emergency. I think he could do a lot worse.
I think you've got 3 quarterbacks. I think you've got 3 quarterbacks you're fine with.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is clearly your starter.
Yeah.
Tyler Bagent is clearly your number 2. And then Rippon is your number 3.
Yes.
And then you're confident going forward.
And I think you're confident.
Nothing wrong with that. You're confident in your defensive secondary.
Well, I've just been informed again, but I'm Danny's vessel today, apparently.
Zetterman's in the house.
Yeah, he's
Why
in the
don't you
house.
just put a microphone
Yeah,
on?
do you just want to
Take
wear
a
the
mic,
headset?
Yeah,
or
I mean, what's going on?
That's fine. I'm happy to be a surrogate.
Hey, Spaceball. I mean, what's he going to jump in on the show all the time? What's going on?
That's a little bit of an inside reference, but
listen, I'm not trying to insert myself, but you guys are having a conversation.
What would you like to
and I heard something interesting that especially I'd like to get Jurko's take on, because you guys are talking about Tyson Bagent, the backup quarterback.
Is this the last time a Bears
No.
quarterback played all 16?
No.
Do you guys know the answer to that? You know the last time a Bears quarterback?
2009.
2009. 15 years ago since a Bears quarterback played every game.
Every game.
That's incredible.
And
Jay Cutler's first season in Chicago was the last.
Before that,
time.
it was 2006 because Rex Grossman did it.
That's right.
Cost me and Mac a crap load of money.
Jurko's right. And to be honest, those might be the only 2 times this century, if I had to guess. But 2009 is the last time a Bear quarterback played.
All right, what do you got for us?
I wanted you to respond to this.
What
so you
pearls
guys,
of wisdom do you have?
You were talking about Tyson Bagent. David Kaplan,
yes,
host of the Great Cap and Hood Show,
yes,
7 to 10 every day on our air, said that Tyson Bagent, and he said it emphatically, without a doubt and without question, is one of the top 32 best quarterbacks in the NFL today. Do you agree with that statement?
One of the top 32.
Meaning he should start somewhere.
Well, yeah, it's hard to with like Cap. Cap also thinks Daniel Jones was awesome, or at one time did. So like he doesn't really know. I mean, he's raving about how great Daniel Jones is. Tyson Bagent's better than Daniel Jones. So the answer is yes. So I would probably say yes.
Is he better than Gardner Minshew, who was just named the starter for the Raiders?
You know what?
Minshew's a player, man.
Is he better than either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields?
Potentially.
I think that's probably it, right? Those are like the question. The question mark one?
I'm not even.
Ooh, Sam Darnold.
And you haven't even looked at the backup.
I would say no.
No, and you haven't even looked at the backup quarterbacks everywhere too. Who would be more deserving of a starting job than our backup quarterback?
Adam, I don't know that I'd rush to say he's better than Minshew. Maybe, but he's better than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones stinks. I mean, it flat out. So I guess yes, in that regard, you could say he's probably one of the 32 best.
But what other backup quarterbacks, if you're ranking them, you got to find other backup quarterbacks.
Like Tyrod Taylor is better than Daniel Jones and probably Tyson Bagent, and he's a backup, but like Tyrod Taylor could be a starter in this league.
Right.
You could argue maybe Jameis Winston could still potentially be a starter.
Well, he's got a 5,000, he's got a 5,000-yard season under his belt.
Yes.
He's thrown for 30-plus touchdowns in this league.
Yes.
He's also thrown for 30 interceptions.
Right. I'd say there are a couple of guys, a couple of backups around the league, and maybe Bagent's in that group, like Huntley, Tyrod Taylor, Jameis Wilson, Bagent. Like, there's probably a small handful that you could say are better than some of the starters in the league.
I think we've spent a whole lot of time
on Tyson
Bagent, which was, to me, absolutely unnecessary. And where he ranks in the realm of all the quarterbacks in this league, if I ranked them 1 through 96, I would put him in the solid 47 area.
Boy, I don't know. It's a
of every quarterback in the league. I understand.
I know.
It's a pain in the rumpus exercise.
That's a tough
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let's not be silly. Let's not go being silly.
312-332-3776. Ring us up. We'll talk some Bears. Maddie Eberflus will join the show at about 12:35. We're live at Hallis. It's Carmen and Jurko.